Hi guys, welcome back to the Crafting Sparrow podcast. This is episode 12. That means I have been doing this for 12 months, aka a year, so I guess this is technically my anniversary podcast episode. God, 12 months, I mean, that's kind of a big deal, right? Anyway, thank you for coming. I noticed there's a lot of new friends here that are joining in, and I'm so happy you're here. Thank you for the returning viewers. It makes me so happy that there's so many people out there that want to share my passion in crafting. So welcome. This is where I just talk about all my crafting stuff. It's mostly knitting, but I do have some sewing today and cross stitch and no crochet. Crochet is kind of getting on the back burner lately. But yeah, I'm glad you're here. Sit back, enjoy, and before we get started, I actually have some pretty big announcements, kind of like housekeeping announcements. So if you haven't figured it out yet, my old Instagram, The Crafting Sparrow, with no spaces or anything, just The Crafting Sparrow, is no longer active. Well, it's active, but I can't use it. So, long story short, I got a new phone, finally, after like 6 or 7 years of having the same old phone. I upgraded, and I'm a big dum-dum and didn't transfer the data for my two-factor authentication. So, I couldn't log in on my new device, basically. I went through so many different ways to try and fix it. I lost my recovery codes. Pretty much the perfect storm happened. I was really beat up about it, but it is just a social media account. I just made a new one. It's The Crafting Sparrow still, but it has those underscores between the and crafting. I'll put it down on the screen here so you know what it is, and it'll be in the description box below. So yeah, if you're following me on the old one, and you're trying to message me or whatever, I'm sorry, I haven't been able to use it for several weeks now, and I will be on that new one now. I have like 3 photos, which is kind of sad, going back and seeing my old account, and there's like a whole wall of posts, but it's still active, because I literally can't deactivate it because I have to log in to deactivate it. So if you want to go back and look at those posts, you still can. But yeah, I am on the new one now, and yeah, that's that. It sucks, but life happens. We move forward. But okay, that's the only admin-y stuff I had to talk about. So let's actually get into the crafting now. My first finished object is this. It is the Moonset Tee by Ozetta, and it is by far my favorite summer top I have ever made. It's so comfortable. It has a t-shirt fit, as you can see. I love t-shirts, so, there's one point towards it. And second of all, it is just, I don't know, the construction was so fun to make. It was kind of the construction where you start in the back and do short rows. I don't know what that construction is called, but basically you start in the back and then you do short rows, and then you pick up here and do a panel here, and then you pick up on the other side, and then you do that panel, and then you meet them, and then you work down. And it had this really cute little collar detail. It's like a ribbed collar. And I was telling my husband that it was kind of giving me Jedi clothing vibes. I don't know. Let me know if you agree. But there's something about this that is very like casual Jedi tunic outfit-esque. I think it's kind of cool. But yeah, I made this out of Knitting for Olive's Pure Silk, which was the yarn that was recommended. And this yarn is amazing. I think it's my favorite summer yarn. I've tried cotton yarn. It's not bad. I don't know what it is about cotton that I'm not too much of a fan of. Maybe it's the way it holds up. It just doesn't seem like it coheres with each other like wool does. Like wool like blends in with the each stitch. I don't know. Anyway, I've also tried cotton linen, like a chainette construction. It does the same thing. It stays separate from each other, like each stitch does. I guess plant fibers do that. And yeah, just this, it looks and feels like more cohesive than those kinds of like plant fibers, like cotton or linen, or a blend of cotton and linen. For what I've tried, I haven't really tried too many summer yarns, if I'm being honest, for like garments and stuff. But yeah, I really like this. Highly recommend using the Knitting for Olive Pure Silk or any Knitting for Olive, because I also have some cotton merino, their cotton merino yarn on a project right now, and I'm also really liking it. So maybe it's just Knitting for Olive is just a really good brand, I guess. But yeah, so I used Knitting for Olive, and the colorway was Lamb's Ear. It's a really pretty gray. When I ordered it online, I thought I was buying like a gray mint color, but that was very misleading. But I'm okay with it because I think I actually prefer a more neutral gray. I feel like it goes with a lot more stuff. So yeah, that's the yarn. And then I used a 2.5 millimeter. It recommended a 3.25. I did swatch, and that's how I knew what needle size to use. I'm figuring out that I pretty much will always go down several needle sizes because I'm a continental knitter. Yeah, I'm like, I didn't realize that your style of knitting could affect your gauge so much. And now that I realize that, I kind of feel like pattern writers should let us know what style of knitting they knit their sample with, because then it's kind of like, okay, they're knitting English style, that means their gauge is probably going to be tighter, or vice versa. I feel like that would be really good information. I don't know. I guess I'm not a pattern writer, so like I can't tell pattern writers what to do, but as a pattern user, I feel like that would be really handy. But anyway, not to say anything about pattern writers now. Like that's just like, I think that would be a good idea. Anyway, so size medium is what I made. I pretty much followed it to pattern. I'm pretty sure the only thing that I did differently was there's a set of increases right here. Obviously, it's a V-neck. So I left out 2 repeats of increases, and that was because I was trying it on as I was going, and I realized I didn't want the V-neck to be super, super deep. So, oh my god, I've been muted this whole time. Wait. No, I haven't been. I haven't been muted this whole time. Thank God. I looked down and I was like, why is there a red X mark on the sound bar? I about had a heart attack. I was in the flow. Okay. But now I'm like self-conscious that it's actually not recording my voice, but I see the mic bar going up and down. So I think we're good. I'm going to continue. Okay. So, okay, what I was talking about for modifications. Yeah, I didn't want my V-neck to be super deep. So yeah, I left out those decreases. And then, to make up for the less length on the front panel, I later added rows on the front panel length before I joined it to the back panel. Does that make sense? So because I left out 2 repeats of increases up here, the front panel was shorter than the back panel, so I just added quite a few rows to the front panel before I joined it to the back. Yeah, that makes sense. So that was the only modification that I made to this. I did the I-cord bind off, which I'm a huge fan of in summer garments. I actually am thinking about going back and ripping out the bind off for one of my older summer garments because I did a rib, and the ribbing just doesn't look good with a linen cotton chainette construction. So yeah, I think I'm actually gonna do that with that. It's the Willet tee. And I just remembered last episode I told you that I would show it to you if I hadn't in previous episodes, and I did not even check if I did that. So here we are. Yeah, so I think that that's all the little tidbits about what I did for this, like as construction-wise goes. But I do want to talk about blocking. I did an Instagram post talking about how I've been getting really into the small details of knitting. Stuff that a lot of people, including me previously, would just skip over, like doing a proper swatch, or, well, I don't know if anybody else did this, but I used to just steam block my garments, which worked out fine, especially for shawls and stuff. It does the job, but because I didn't really ever want to commit to a full entire wet block, waiting for it to dry kind of scenario. But I did it with this, and it made such a huge difference, and I did not expect that out of a silk fiber versus I would expect it out of a wool fiber. So anyway, I did wet block this, and it made a huge difference. Yeah, so I'm going to show it to you so you guys can see it a little better. It's such a good fit. I love the length of the sleeves. I don't actually know if I did it the exact length that they called for the sleeves. I just went until I liked the shaping. And I just realized I lied to you. I did modify. Because it was a shorter sleeve than what they called for, I didn't do as many decreases. I think I only did 2 rows of decreases. But that's kind of always how knitting goes. You kind of just, at least for my process, for things like sleeves, I usually just construct my own sleeve based on how it's fitting. But I don't know if anybody else does that, but that's what I usually do. But yeah, it's so cute. It's the perfect amount of positive ease. It lays at a good spot. I can lay it down regular like this and it be at a good length. Or if I want to tuck it in, I can tuck it in and it still be cute. Yeah, I love it. Again, this pure silk knitting for all of his. It's good. So that's the Moonset Tee by Ozetta. My next finished object is, I don't know if anybody else is playing the game that I came up with last episode. If you saw the frog, did you spot Stefan in this image? Because he's right here. Stefan is styling a hip style hoodie. And that is by Sedna Knitting. Again, it'll be here somewhere. And also in the description box. But yeah, I made this little hoodie for Stefan. Hi, Lucy. Lucy, can you get out of the screen? Okay. I don't know. Can you guys see? Yeah, you can. It's fine. Yes. Stefan is wearing a hip style hoodie. It was actually, the pattern came with a cap too, and it's super cute. I didn't feel like knitting a hat, and plus I loved how the hoodie laid on his little head. It's so cute. And this is a mood. I want to be Stefan all the time, just hanging around the house in a oversized hoodie with no pants. Stefan's living his best life. So yeah, this was a really fun pattern though. It's fun to make garments for things like this because it's just so tiny. It was knit flat, and you seam one edge, and there's a whole bunch of places where you pick up for the hoodie and stuff. And imagine making a sweater for yourself, but miniature and knit flat. It's just the same kind of construction you would do for yourself, which I get is duh, right? But I don't know. But yeah, this is Stefan's new clothing first of many. I'm hoping. I really want to make him a little Halloween sweater with like a ghost or like a pumpkin on it. That has to be done. So, yeah. I don't think I have anything else to say about this. I use scrap yarn, 2.25 millimeters. Yeah, it's cute. Pretty cute. And I talked to you guys about Stefan last episode. It is a pattern by Claire Garland or .pebbles on Instagram. Highly recommend that pattern as well. So much fun. I've made 2. I might make another. I don't know. So that's my second finished object. I'm gonna like put his hands back in his hoodie and make him chill in that corner again. Back to living your best life. Yeah. Okay. So that's number 2. This next one, you guys. I don't know if I should save it for my last finished object or... Nah, I'm just gonna show it to you now because I'm excited. Okay, it's right here. So if you've been here for a while, you know that I have been on one single cross stitch pattern for like 5 years. And guess what? I finished it. It's done. It's so pretty. This is the moment I was able to unfurl this thing from the scroll frame that I've had it in for the entire time was just, I literally teared up. Because the reveal of unraveling this thing, I don't know, it's just, I've gotten so much emotional connection to this thing. It has been through so much with me. I mean, 5 years, that's a long time. Yeah, so I'll just briefly go over like the pattern and stuff for anybody that is new here and hasn't heard me talking about it before. I use the website Pick2Pat. It'll be in the description box. Basically, it's a website for free. You can use it, and you put in images, and you pick out like how many colors you want to be in it, what the basically resolution is, since everything here is like pixel art basically. And yeah, you upload the image and then it spits out a PDF pattern with the corresponding DMC colors and symbols. It's basically just, here, I've got, oh, well, I don't know if I can get it without, okay, Stefan, you're gonna have to deal with this for a second. Okay, it's gonna be hard to see because I have highlighted all the squares. I'm making a mess. I've highlighted all the squares and that's why it's going to be hard to see. But basically it spits out pages like this where... yeah, you guys can't see this very well. It has separate symbols for each color, like your basic cross stitch pattern. And then it gives you a legend for what each symbol corresponds to which color. And then you go to a craft store and then you just buy all the floss colors and you get started. It's amazing. Obviously, if you don't want to do a full like cross stitch project, meaning there's literally no fabric showing, it doesn't really work for that. You could probably like fiddle your way around it maybe, but it's really meant for full projects like this. But again, it's free. It's amazing. You should go check it out if you're interested in cross stitch. And I found this image on Google. I don't remember who the artist is. It was like an oil painting I found on the internet. The ship is called, or maybe that's not the name of the ship. Maybe it's the type of ship, but it's Fregata Española. I just thought it was really pretty. I liked the moody colors, and I can't wait to frame this. There are some things that are kind of meh about it, but given how long I took on this, I don't really give a crap. The main thing being this right here, this bright like salmon color is the same floss color as this and everything. It's just that this is a really, really old floss set that I got from my mother-in-law. She used to do cross stitch, and she gave me a bunch of her stuff, and I didn't know anything back then about color lots because I hadn't really been into all this knitting and crochet stuff yet. So when I ran out of the old stuff, I went and got the same number from the crafting store, and it was a completely different color. So lesson learned, I guess. And it kind of makes me sad because that color would have been all in here, but mostly it's all right here. And I think that it would have been a lot more of a vibrant sunset in the sky if I would have used the newer floss, but that's okay. I'm also hoping if whenever I wash this, it's not going to be less subtle because it's such a straight line. I'm just going to have to deal with it. I'm going to look up at it like every day and just think, damn. But we live with our mistakes as crafters, don't we? So, yeah, I'm going to wash it and then I'm going to find a frame for it. I'm still debating on whether I want to pay somebody to like professionally frame it with like a matte, like edging and everything, or if I just want to find a frame that fits it and to just like try my best to make it as professional as possible, because framing stuff is really expensive. But it's done. That's what matters. It's done. I love it. I already know where I'm gonna put it. It's gonna go behind my couch. And yeah. And you know what that means? That means I can no longer stop myself from casting on new cross-stitch projects. And I've already got some in my mind, so that'll be for future plans. But my next finished object this is my last finished object, are the shorts that I'm wearing. And when I was showing the Moonset Tee, you probably saw them. And I literally just finished them like 2 hours ago. I cut the fabric out last night, and my friend came over and she brought her iron, and I ironed all the fabric out, cut it and everything, and then I was just like not in the mood to sew anything. So I did it this morning. But anyway, here they are. They are lounge shorts from Lara Loungewear. Sorry, they're called the Lara Loungewear. They're by Swim Style. It's an Australian pattern making company. Actually don't know too much about them, but they had some cute stuff. But these are the shorts that go with the loungewear. They did come with this shirt pattern, but I didn't do the shirt. And this fabric is some cotton bed sheets that I don't use. And it's just super cute, and they're just casual like loungewear. You can't see the edge. I'll probably insert a video of me styling it. Not styling it. It's pajamas. I got a baggy t-shirt on, let's be honest. So that'll go in right now. I hope I put that in there, or else I'm gonna look like an idiot. So yeah, I like them. They actually called for elastic band right here, and your girl did not have elastic on hand, and I really wanted to make shorts. So all I did was, instead of, I don't know if you guys have made shorts before, but basically for elastic stuff, you don't sew the back part of the waist hem. You leave a section of it, and then you put in your elastic band, and then you sew your elastic band together, and then you sew down the last bit of the hem. So instead of that, I just cut a little, can't see it because it's scrunched up. Here. I cut holes, 2 holes, before I sewed it down, and then I hand sewed down the pieces that I cut so that it doesn't fray. And so when I sewed down my hem, I just sewed it all the way around. I just sewed it all the way around, and so whenever I was done, I had these 2 holes in the front that were completely closed in, and I took some cotton linen yarn, and I crocheted a really long chain, and then I slip stitched back to the beginning, so it was like it's basically an I-cord, like a knitted I-cord, but it's crocheted. It's really sturdy, and I made it long enough to where I can fit it around and then cinch it and tie it. So that was, I guess, I'm a new sewer, so it was pretty ambitious of me to go off pattern, but I felt fairly confident in it, and it worked out. And I will probably make more of these, but Ash, really? They're constantly fighting. Anyway, I will probably make more of these, but with different fabric. Still bed sheets, because I love bed sheets. I just like that cotton coziness, but I have a different colored one that's less pajama-y looking. It's like a light sagey blue. I think they'll be really cute, and I'm actually going to get elastic band for it, and actually be able to wear it out. Yeah, so probably talk about those in another episode, because they're probably definitely going to be made. Because this was so easy. Like, I literally sewed it in probably an hour, not even, and like pinning it and stuff was super easy, and I don't know, it was a lot easier than making this, I'll tell you that. And I knit this before the shorts, so like I started with the harder thing and then moved on to the much easier stuff, and it just made the easier project seem so much easier, I guess, is what's happened here. So yeah, those are my Lara Loungewear shorts. I love them. I made a size large, and that called for a 30, I think it was like a 30-inch waist, 40-inch hip, I think, which was the closest to mine. And honestly, I think that it was the perfect size. The thing about sewing is you could always just like lengthen it off pattern if you wanted to. Like, you're the one that's cutting out the fabric. You can change it however you want, so it's pretty cool. And I might actually do that with the other ones, because they're nice for indoors, but if I want to wear them to work, I would maybe want them just a little bit longer, but that's just me. Otherwise, the size I picked out was really good. So yeah, those are all my finished objects. Pretty good, right? That was a lot more than I thought I would be able to show you, because I feel like I have been very scatterbrained with my projects. If you've been here for a while, you probably have heard me say numerous times that I am a mostly monogamous knitter. That's not been the case. I've had an impulse cast on, and that's never happened. And I'll get to that in a minute. The first whip or work in progress I'm going to show you guys is my Camisole number 5 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. Let me turn to the page so I know to tell you guys all the things that you guys are here to talk about, to listen, to hear about. Okay, yeah, My Favorite Things Knitwear, Camisole number 5, and as I said before, knitting for olives, cotton merino, in the colorway Slate. This pattern is so much fun, and probably will be a very staple garment in my wardrobe, just because it can be so versatile on what you do with it. But I'm already getting ahead of myself. I knit the size small, but I did make some modifications, and I'll get to that in a second. But yes, size small. The needle I used, you guys, it called for a 3.0 millimeter needle. I used a 1.75. Why is my gauge so loose? I do know now, but that's a lot of millimeters to go down. But I meant gauge. I did a gauge swatch. This is wet blocked and everything, so I know this is the right needle size. So it is what it is. It's a good thing that I like using smaller needles. Yeah, so I have cast off the body, which I think now that I've tried it on with one of the edges done, I think I'm actually gonna take the bind off out and add some length. That's no big deal. It shouldn't It shouldn't be too hard. I've undone bind-offs before. It's just kind of time consuming, but I think it'll be worth it. Because I don't think that this fabric grows so much in length as it will in like width because of the ribbing. So I think it'll be good to undo that and add length. But yeah, all I have left is the other arm, and then the neck that has like a double rim neck on it. And look how much difference this double knit edge makes on this. This is crazy. I was not expecting this. This is the underarm here, and the underarm without the edges all the way down here. What? I was making this and I was like, this doesn't really feel like it's making much difference. Like, I feel like it's just as stretchy. And then I bound off and I was like, oh my gosh. That makes a huge difference. And it makes a huge difference on too, like, obviously, but just putting it on and seeing like this side versus this side, it's like this really feels like a finished, like, store-bought object on this side. It just fits better. It looks more sleek and like classy looking. And double knitting this was actually kind of addictive because you have all of these stitches around the underarm and you're basically binding off as you go, and it's really nice seeing this like band just form, and then once you're done with it, you're done with the arm. Like, I don't know, it was really cool. So yeah, I have to do the other one and the neckband and then maybe add some length to it. But really cool project. I think that it's fairly easy. Oh, and the modification that I did, everything is to pattern except when I went to join the front and the back, I tried it on and I was a little bit nervous about it being too tight. So the size that I didn't call for adding stitches under the underarm, but I did anyway. I think I added 4 stitches on each arm. And that's a really easy addition. You basically just cast on stitches before you join to the other panel. It's a really nice way to just add more room if you need it. And it doesn't take any kind of like brain power to alter the pattern because you just make sure you cast on enough stitches to continue the ribbing pattern seamlessly. So yeah. I don't think I have much more to say about this. It's a really nice pattern and the yarn's wonderful. I did end up picking up a little bit more stitches than the pattern called for my size around the arm, but again, I did add 4 stitches under the arm anyway. And I don't think that you necessarily have to get the exact number of stitches when picking up for things like this. Just as long as it's not a drastic number, because then it might get like wavy, it's too much fabric for what you're attaching it to, or too few where it would start pinching in the fabric. Just like do it evenly is my recommendation. Like be consistent. So yeah, there's my camisole at number 5 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. That my next one is my impulse cast on. It's a pair of socks, which never happens. But I follow the Petite Knitter, not the Petite Knits. It's the Petite Knitter, which I get those names confused all the time. But anyway, she showed this new pair of socks that she released recently, and I instantly fell in love. I posted my story. I posted a story about it like the second I saw her Instagram post about it, and I knew from that moment I was gonna cast them on. This is the Ovus Socks by the Petite Knitter. It has little sheep on it, you guys. Look how cute. Oh, my stitch marker fell off. Oh shit. I mean, oh crap. Yeah, anyway, it is a sock that is knit from the cuff to the toe, and it has an afterthought heel. It's all over color work, And that has been a struggle for me. I've learned quite a few things with this pair of socks. I have knit this sheep detail like 4 times. First of all, this is the first time that I have made, that I have done a 3-color color work. It's only for a few rows, because it's just for the black color on the sheep. I don't know if you can really see very easily, but there's also 2 little black feet here. So yeah, it's like 5 rows of 3 color work. And I'm glad that I had other issues with it, because it allowed me to continue to improve on my 3 color work knitting skills. And so when the sock actually fit, I was really happy with the way that my color work looked. But the main reason I had to undo it so many times is because color work, it does weird things with your tension, and you have to know how many times to catch your floats, be really consistent with your tension and all that for you to fit the darn sock over your heel. I started off, there was a lot of things that went through my mind on this. Okay, for one, I'm a looser knitter. I know this for a fact by now. So I went down from I think it was 2.5 is what the pattern recommended. I didn't write it down, but it was somewhere in the 2 point something millimeters. And so I was like, I'll just cast on my 1.75 millimeters, which is, I have a 2.25 millimeter and a 1.75 millimeter 9-inch circular needles, which is what I prefer for socks, especially if it's color work. So I went ahead and cast on my 1.75 millimeters because I was like, I knit loosely. And then I knit the 64 inch, or the 64 stitch sock, thinking that would fit me. And because that's what the pattern, I measured my foot and all that stuff, thinking I was going to get the right gauge, and yeah, it was too tight. So I ripped it back, and then what did I do? I can't even remember now. Basically, I ripped it back a couple times because for first time, the needles were too small and my gauge was small, and then something about my color work was off because my floats weren't consistent. There was 1 or 2 rows that were really, really tight, even with the 2.25 millimeters, which is what I ended up using. I don't know. It's just kind of like something was always going wrong. So I bumped up to the 72 inch, 72 stitch size. I still cast on with 1.75. Y'all, this is a lot of modifications, but I still cast on with the 1.75 millimeters for the ribbing, and then I switched to the 2.25 for the color work, and I continued to do 72 stitch, and then I did the insert waste yarn for the afterthought heel, and then I did a series of decreases on a row without any white like flea pattern things. Or maybe I did it before. Yeah, it was before the heel waste yarn thing. So basically I went from 72 stitch at that point to a 64 stitch because I knew that the 64 stitch would fit my actual foot better. But I needed that extra stitch count to get it over my heel for the cuff. That makes sense? So yeah, this pattern has been, it's not the pattern, it's my knitting. It's been all over the place for what I'm doing on this. I'm writing it down on my journal so that I can do it the exact same thing to the other sock. That's all that really matters, right? Regardless of all that stuff, it's really cute. I'm excited. I'm knitting it with all Knitpicks yarn. It's Knitpicks Stroll for the gray. The mohair is their Aloft, their mohair base. So I'm holding those two together for the main color, and then I'm just using Knitpicks palette for the white and just Knitpicks palette for the black. I'm not adding any mohair for that because I literally only have gray mohair in my stash, and I'm using all stash yarn for this. So, yeah. So, and then for the heel and toe, I think what I'm gonna do is do the black color, but also hold mohair with it, just so it's a little bit more reinforced at those locations. I don't think it's gonna look too bad, because then at least the halo is continuing throughout, like the fuzzy halo is continuing throughout the sock, but there's still like a contrast, because I like a contrast heel and toe. So I think it'll look really nice. I like that I'm using scrap yarn, especially for socks that I admittedly don't wear them as much as I would like to. I like the idea of fuzzy socks in the winter, but most of the time my feet end up getting hot and I just end up taking them off anyway. But like I said, I still like the idea of having fuzzy socks on hand. Maybe that's wasteful. I don't care. So yeah. That's my impulse cast on, and I don't know, it's really fun. Oh, the big thing about that is, you guys, I learned how to do English style knitting. That was one of the problems that I had with the fit of it at first. I decided if I'm doing 3 color work, I have to hold one strand in my right hand. So I started like figuring out how to throw my yarn instead of picking it, which I've always done. And I found out that I actually kind of like color work with the English style and continental. So my tension changed, right? That was one of the reasons why I had to rip it out again. But yeah, so I figured out now when I do color work, even if it's just 2, I like doing one in my left and one in my right. So I'm learning how to do English style knitting, I guess. And I like it. So you always learn something new in knitting, I guess. They're still fighting, by the way. They haven't stopped. Yeah. Still are my Ovus Socks by ThePetiteKnitter. Work in progress. My last work in progress is also the Flutter Poncho. I'll show it for anybody that is new here, but I haven't made too much progress because, like I said, I have been so scatterbrained with my projects. I've been wanting to just do different things, I guess. Still like struggling mentally with myself on it's okay to do that. You don't have to focus so hard on one thing, but this is it so far. Since last time, I think I did 2 of the colored pods. I'm almost done with the second to last page. I think I have like 3 more colored rows, so it's really close to being done. It's just, I think it's hard for me to break this out in the summertime with it being so bulky. It's basically a blanket at this point. So, I mean, I don't know if you've been like really paying attention to the size of things that I've been casting on. A miniature hoodie, a pair of socks, a camisole. I want small things to knit on right now, I think is what it is. And this is just not that, you know? But yeah, I am still working on it slowly. I hope that I will get it finished by next episode. I hope. Don't hold me to it, Grandma. Don't hold me to it. If you want to know more details about it, I've talked about it in the last 2 episodes, I believe. So you can go back and watch that. But that's it. That's all of my finished objects and works in progress. I do have a few future plans / acquisitions to talk about. So if that's not your jam, I understand. And I will see you guys next time. But let's carry on. My first future plan is still, I mentioned last time, I want to make the Cosmos tee by Tanja Nielsen with my BC Garn Allino. It is a cotton linen blend, and it's like this really cool 2-tone beigey color. Yeah, I still want to cast that on. I just cannot let myself cast another thing on. I just can't do it. Not yet. I'm probably gonna cast this on after my camisole number 5, which it will be soon. So yeah, I talked about it last time, so that's pretty much that. And then I am gonna do a new cross stitch project, like I mentioned. So I got this book quite a while ago. It's backwards for you guys, I think. So you can't really see it, but it says Cross Stitch for the Earth, and it's by Emma Congdon. I think that's what that says. It's kind of hard to read it in cross stitch form. Yeah. So it's got 20 designs in it, and they're all really cute. There's only a few that I'm like, I probably wouldn't make it. So I thought it was a good little investment. It wasn't that much. I got it on Amazon a while ago when I was dreaming about being finished with my ship cross-stitch project. So, yeah, I'm going to show you guys which ones I want to make. There's a page in the front here that is just the pattern, so I won't be revealing anything. Sorry, making sure I was still recording. So yeah, here's all the patterns, and you probably won't be able to see too much detail from here, but I want to make first, it's this little circle one here. I'm not even going to try to change the focus because then it won't be focused for the rest of the episode on me. That's happened before and I did not like that. But basically, I wonder if I can get, I wonder if it has an image of it up close without the pattern. Okay, yeah. I think that it's a really nice pattern for now because by the time I finish it, it will be autumn, closer to autumn. And this one gives me a lot of autumn vibes. It's got cute little robin, mushrooms, still's got some bees and stuff, lots of insects. And it says, enjoy all the little things, which I think is a really cute saying. It's a common one, but I don't know, I really like it. And I have some really cute hoops that I bought a while back when I bought this. So I'm excited to just hang them up in my wall and it be a cute little cross-stitch decoration. So yeah, that'll be my next one that I cast on. I gotta go and get all the floss colors, which I haven't done since my ship thing 5 years ago, so that'll be really fun. And then I think that the next one that I'll do is a bit of a bigger commitment, but I really, really like it. And I have to buy a green Ada fabric for it, but it's like this pine forest with this deer in it. It says, between two pines is a doorway to a new world. And I really like it. It's cute. There's a lot of cute ones in here. There's one that's like very jungly. It's got a monstera leaf on it, which I love monsteras. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Yeah. I probably would change some colors in this one, but I think it's really cute. My husband just got home. Actually, I need to check if my groceries are ready. Oh, my password's wrong. Shoot. One moment. Oh, a shopper's not available. Great. That's just what you want to hear. Anyway, yeah, so I'll cast on one of those, and then I'll also cast on a new pair of shorts, like I mentioned before. I'm really excited about that. Also, this is an acquisition, but I didn't buy it because I won a giveaway. My first giveaway I ever won. Sweet Caitlin from the Cozy Mouth Knits, she was hosting a make-along called Sprout New Skills Make-Along, and it was just inspiring people to try improve their skills or try a new skill and sprout a new skill. So it was really great. It's our second year doing it, and I feel like I'm talking about this because I know my husband's about to walk in the door. I heard the car door shut. Yep, that's him. You can come in, Tyler. Okay, I told him to go sit quietly in a corner, basically. So yeah, but Sweet Caitlin, she hosted this make-along, and it was really wonderful. I learned quite a few. I talked about it before, what I did for it, but I made this project bag. I was improving on my sewing skills, which I'm still doing. Like, I don't know, it's not just like the make-along that inspired me, but it really amped up my motivation to try new things with my crafting skills, and it carries out even after spring, honestly. But she had a giveaway for the people that participated, and I won it, and I won Kelsey from Nathan Cobby's Herbology. I don't remember what month this is. January, February, March, April. It's June. I think. If I'm wrong, it's bi-monthly, so it's every other month. So 2, 4, 6, yeah, June. It was June's Herbology, and it was cornflower was this June's theme, and I got this really pretty colorway called Honeydew. Don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet, but it's really cute. And I also got, it came with some cute little lotion bars, which I've been using like crazy because cotton and silk and all these plant fiber stuff is a lot rougher on your hands, and so this has been really nice to put on while I'm knitting. They're heart-shaped, and well, this one was heart-shaped. I've been using it, and it has cute little blue cornflower petals in it, and it smells really good. So yeah, it came with that, some tea, which was an Earl Grey mix, which is my favorite tea mix, and so that's really nice. And then it came with some cute like flower paper stuff. And am I missing something? I think that was it. It was a really sweet little package to get in the mail, and Caitlin sent me a cute little note, and it had a VW van on it that's like identical to a decorative one I have on my porch, and it was just like really sweet to read that and see the little van on it. So thank you, Caitlin, for hosting that make-along and sending that giveaway item over to me. So yeah, that's my only acquisitions. So that's that for crafting stuff. I keep checking at my time. I should probably not do that. Anyway, so yeah, I was just gonna say thank you for everybody that has like, there's been a lot of new subscribers here, and I got a hair in my mouth, huh? Living with two long-haired cats, that's what it'll do to you. Yeah, I don't know if like something happened to the YouTube algorithm or whatever, but there's been a lot of new people here. It makes me really happy because there's so many people out there now that are like sharing my passion for crafting, and I don't know, it just makes me really happy. And seeing all these new comments and people like saying now they you know, they just enjoy my content. It's just reassuring and heartwarming, and I love seeing all these names pop up and just like wanting to talk to me, and it just makes me happy. So yeah, leave a comment if you like want to talk about what you were making or doing while watching this, or just say hi, where you're from. Like, I saw people from like Canada and like France and stuff comment, and that's just mind-boggling. So hi. Yeah, thank you guys again, and I will see you guys on my next episode in August. Yeah, today is July. In fact, yeah, it is July. Thanks for listening to me ramble. I'm gonna go see what my groceries are doing. Thanks for watching. Bye.